The lights are the worst part of decorating, Shelley hissed back. This way, they can plug it right in, make hot chocolate, and hang ornaments. Heaven only knew what the tree would look like when the lights were plugged in. Another frigid breeze blew in the night, and I was fairly sure my nose had gone numb. I read the best way to put on the lights is in 3 triangular sections, whispered Zelda. Maybe we should try that. That's crazy, said Shelley. You have to zigzag them along the branches so you'll get depth in the lights. They bickered like sisters, but Shelley and Zelda were part of the Sugar Maple Inn family. When I moved to Wagtail, I hadn't expected to find a family among the employees, but I was delighted that it had worked out that way. My parents had divorced when I was young, and for the first time in decades, I was where I wanted to be for Christmas, in Wagtail. No planes, no trains, no hasty visits, and best of all, no arguments about where I should be and when. My parents had both started new families, and while I loved them dearly, the truth was that I always felt like an outsider at their new homes. I had such happy childhood memories of Christmas in Wagtail, and while I knew things would be different seen through my adult eyes, I couldn't help being excited about spending the holiday in Wagtail. I looked forward to the ringing of the church bells and the possibility of fluffy cake, which I remembered fondly. Not to mention that my childhood friend and heartthrob, Holmes Richardson, would be home for the holidays. There, we're done, whispered Shelley. At that moment, I spied a flutter in the curtain on the window that overlooked the porch. Dash away now, I whispered, jumping off the porch. Thank goodness our rush to the sleigh golf cart caught Trixie's interest, and she leaped on board with us. The electric golf cart couldn't go too terribly fast, but I gunned it as Zelda shook sleigh bells attached to a leather horse harness. The merry tinkle made me grin every time. What could be more fun? Did you really say dash away? Shelley laughed. It just came out. I guess I'm in the spirit of the season. At that moment, a light blazed upon us, so bright that it briefly blinded me, and I slammed the brakes. Trixie yelped in surprise. It's a sign from heaven, breathed Zelda with wonder in her tone. I blinked and gazed around. Not unless the Grinch has a heavenly connection, muttered Shelley. She pointed to our right. I squinted against the glare. A gigantic Grinch with huge devious eyes loomed over the roofs of the houses. He must have just been turned on because we would surely have noticed him before. There were no high-rises, billboards, or garish lighting in Wagtail. The moon was usually the only light in the night sky. The Grinch's head had a green cast and glowed as though a strong light must be inside. I guessed it was a blow-up figure. Even though we were a couple of blocks away, we could hear the notes of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer coming from the ghastly fellow. I'm all for holiday fun, said Zelda. But if I thought that guy was going to come down my chimney, I would brick it up. Not to mention that I don't think anyone in the neighborhood, including me, will get much sleep tonight. I dropped off Zelda first. The repeating song was growing annoying, and lights were flicking on inside houses all over the neighborhood. Shelley lived on the other side of town, where it was blissfully quiet, and only twinkling Christmas lights on trees and roof lines glowed in the night. I drove the electric golf cart back in the direction of the giant Grinch to Rose Richardson's detached garage, where I parked it and closed the door. Holmes' grandmother, Rose, was like a grandmother to me, too, and happened to be my Oma's best friend. We were hiding the sleigh golf cart in her garage so children wouldn't see it around town during the day. Trixie and I walked back to the inn on the path that meandered through the green, the park in the center of Wagtail, which wasn't so green now that snow lay on it. We passed the giant Christmas tree that remained lighted all through the night. Dark Christkindl Market stalls lined the perimeter of the green. Bright lights twinkled in the trees that lined the path, and a few snowflakes floated in the air. It was like our own private wonderland, except for the tinkling.